Hey everyone, just decided to do a weekly recap about how I've been doing. So, I struggle from depersonalization from a lot of childhood trauma and not being validated and seen. And what helps with that is doing a lot of dream work. If it seems like the only thing that really helps me see what's really going on without intellectualizing or getting lost in thought. Um, I don't know. It's really helpful and it makes therapy a whole lot easier. Because a lot of the time I just have a hard time distinguishing what's real versus what's just in my mind. It does get very difficult, but I've found through dream work it makes it much easier to get in touch with shadow work and stuff like that. Because it's not like I try to spiritually bypass. It's that there's so much stuff in my unconscious that it just doesn't really want to come into the living room, and I wish it did more often. The only thing that helps is psychedelics, marijuana, and other things, but marijuana causes a lot of paranoid delusions and trauma from my past that I won't get into here. But I just wanted to come on here and say that a couple years ago I reached out to a YouTube channel, Soft White Underbelly, to share my life story, but as time went on, my intuition was telling me that maybe I shouldn't go through with it because I know a lot of my life story is just that. It's just a story, and I didn't want to create unnecessary karma and unnecessary like stuff for myself, and I didn't want to misrepresent my family or myself because I know a lot of what happens in life. There's so much more than what our minds tell us. And I just didn't want to seem like needy, or I just didn't want to seem egotistical or not humble or like not. I just didn't know what I was getting myself into, and it wasn't about the YouTube channel itself or like being seen. I just thought that maybe my story would help other people, but I just got really paranoid, and I'm like, when I talked to the host Mark on the phone, I would lose control and didn't really feel like I was in control. That's another thing too, is all my life, and I think I've said this in past videos, I feel like I've just never felt a sense of free will. Like I've always felt kind of like I'm in a determined space, and it's I kind of just have to go with the flow a lot of the time, and I don't know. And so, like I said, the dreams kind of show like my need for connection and my need to be seen, and a lot of the time my dreams show me that my fear of being misunderstood, or like people getting angry at me for what I say, because I've just never been able to be held in my own authentic space. Another thing I've been dealing with is trying to be detached from certain desires. I've been kind of overthinking about a person, and it's just that's what's been showing up in my dreams. She's been showing up in my dreams a lot, and I'm kind of at a crossroads between still wanting to be her friend, but then trying not to lose myself in it, because it's like the same pattern happens where I get really close, like my heart opens up to somebody but they're not available, or things change, and then I just get depressed and I get attached, and like I said in previous videos, I want to find that love within myself, because I know I am that love and it's all me, but I don't know, I've just never been around a consciousness that really opens me up, and I do have a lot of friends, but I don't know, just certain people just open me up, and those people never really stay for a while, and it just gets really depressing and annoying. I've had parts of my dream where I remember my crush from freshman year, in the dream she kissed me, and then I found out she was in critical condition, and what I think that dream represented for me was the feeling of when somebody rejects me, or when there's a perceived rejection, or when a friendship seems to be over. It doesn't just feel like a rejection, it feels like that other person died, and it feels like every time I get let down, it feels like a grieving process, not just rejection. But I know, nothing is solid and everything changes, and I don't have to give up on it. It's just hard because I never know when to make the right move. And that's another thing too, is like, so I would say I am pretty good at solving problems, like through therapy and through journaling and the dreams and stuff. But when I was a kid, I was really bad at math, and like a lot of life is about solving problems, and our lives are literally embedded in geometric patterns and learning patterns, and I don't know, I've just been seeing the same patterns over and over kind of repeat themselves. It's like instead of having a brain, a consciousness, my brain's more like an infinite fractal. And I don't know, it's just, I've been noticing those patterns more, and I'm like, how could I change this? And sometimes I wish I could see people as like trees and, love everybody equally, but for whatever reason, my brain and my obsessive compulsive disorder just kind of hyper focus on one person, and then I can't stop thinking about that one person, and then it's like I don't know what to do, and I don't know what's going on, and the uncertainty causes paranoia, and I don't know, I've never felt the space where I could be held and just be myself, because I never really got to create myself, even though in spiritual terms that's kind of an illusion. Like, I never had the illusion to begin with, and when I started practicing those and listening to a lot of animals, it just kind of clicked, because I've felt that way all my life, just where it's like I'd be in a big group of people and it's like, what am I doing here? Like I just don't feel like anybody's acknowledging me, or it's like it just feels like I'm alone, or like I'd planned like how I'd be in social situations, and I'd get there and just cave in. And then another thing I miss is I miss high school now. High school, I had a lot of the same social problems, but I noticed that high school was, I remember when COVID hit and everybody was isolated, and then when school came back, I was so happy to have a routine again, and I should probably find a routine where I can get out more. It's just hard where I live, because like I said in the previous video, it's a very conservative town, and everybody's just into nature and, doing nature stuff, like, going kayaking or going out to the lake, and having deep philosophical conversations isn't really on Idaho's radar. But actually, I want to get back to the soft white underbelly interview. So I was overthinking of that for like 2 years, and I was like, this could help a lot of people, but what if it just makes me feel more separate? And I didn't want to look separate or like special or anyway. I just wanted to be humble. So I kind of backed out of that, and I don't know, like, I've always wanted to just feel seen and to feel real, and I've never really felt real, and I have lots of people that love me, but it just kind of feels like my life is like an endless psychedelic experience, and I kind of have to see things that other people see, and I can't live in the illusions that other people live in, and even though those illusions aren't as fun, and they're kind of just, they're illusions, they're Maya, right? But sometimes I wonder, like, even if they weren't, fulfilling it, I'd want to know what what it would be like. And sometimes, when you have cerebral palsy and, you've been disabled all your life, you don't feel no different from anybody else. And sometimes I have to remember that my life is way stranger than lots of people, because, I don't have the same, capabilities as others. And, when I watch, self-help videos on YouTube, a lot of those people don't know my situation. It's assumed that I'm in the same everyday consciousness as everybody else, but I'm really in my own world, and I kind of just have to figure stuff out on my own. And I've been trying to get better about, just creating my own ideas and not listening to other people. But I think I mentioned this in the last video. My favorite philosopher, Terence McKenna, he said, build your own damn wagon. And it's kind of hard to be a nonconformist. Build your own damn wagon when you're tied to the wagon, in a sense. But I keep trying, and I keep trying to do comedy. That's another thing too. Comedy is like, when I do comedy, I enjoy it, but it kind of feels like it's just happening, and that I'm not really doing it. It's just happening through me. I think somebody quoted in the comments that like nature is working through me, and I definitely feel that in a lot of ways. And I don't know, sometimes it's like when I use substances like psychedelics or pot, like it's not because I want to escape my reality. It's because my reality gets kind of dull, and I need to change my space of consciousness, because changing my space of consciousness is like changing the room that I'm in or something. Like I need to like be in a different state so I can see things differently, or else everything just it kind of feels like I'm stuck in the same simulation or stuck in eternity. And I don't know, I just kind of want to break, but at the same time I kind of want to be with what is, because what is all that exists. So yeah, I've just been kind of having a hard time with, backing out of that interview, and like the back and forth between, should I do this, or what's gonna happen if I go through with this. Because I feel like at the time it just kind of happened, and I didn't know what I was getting myself into, and a lot of the things we think are happening are not what they appear to be. And I get lost in like, being spiritual and trying to be detached and not desire anything, versus, normal human animal needs on one level, and, being, a monk and selfless on another level. And I feel like because of my OCD, I kind of got obsessed with those philosophies. So I get stuck in kind of the no mind state where it's kind of hard to feel my emotions, which is kind of paradoxical, because like being in those spaces should help you feel your emotions more, but for me it just kind of makes me more depersonalized in a sense. I don't know. And then it just kind of feels like, these feelings where people just happen, and it's kind of like, everything has a purpose, but I'm like, why now? Why did this happen now? Like, I don't need this. And I know that's opposite to what a lot of spiritual people say, but it's like, I don't know, like, I wasn't ready for this, and I don't feel like I'm ready, and sometimes with people, I just don't know what to do, but I'm trying to see the love that surrounds me, and I'm trying to, do the work, and be more present, and be more, just open to everything that's going on, and understand. And there's kind of a paradox to determinism for me, because like for a lot of people it freaks a lot of people out, but for me it kind of like, because I used to have a hard time like making decisions, but now I just kind of make decisions, and I trust the universe as an other to, that everything's gonna work out okay. And it makes me more curious, because I don't have to control experience, I can just be part of experience. And I think, I don't know, what I learned from that is like, when I was young, I don't think I understood nature, and I don't think I understood how people worked, and I never understood, because like when I was younger, I was kind of an older soul, and I would go to my local Salvation Army Croc Center, and I would train there, and there was a lot of old souls there, and they would get me, and then I'd go to school, and it would just be hard to connect with people, and I'm like, why aren't they seeing what these other people are seeing? But then I realized that, nature doesn't really, you kind of just have to find the right fit. And it's hard sometimes, so I find that I don't really get mad at people anymore. I just get mad at nature, because I feel like if nature had the opportunity to like see who I really was, I'd be more open, and I'd feel more connected. But so instead of getting mad at people, I just get mad at nature, and I just get really like angry, because like then I realize, well, it's not really their fault. It's my way of perceiving them that's causing the suffering. And I don't know, like, I don't know, I was never really, like, validated as a kid, so going on the soft-white underbelly and basically, like, sharing my entire, like, apparent life story, I was afraid that there was going to be some false memories in there and kind of misrepresent the way my life actually was. And I just didn't want to scare my family or anything, or like, I don't know. I think it's much better to have a simple life than to be seen by everybody, and I just enjoy making these videos and kind of just doing it on my own. I did reach out to special books by special kids, and I do feel like that's a better fit for me, honestly, because the guy interviews kids with special needs. When I was a kid, I would kind of just escape with video games and entertainment, and I still kind of escape with YouTube and stuff, because YouTube is a way for me to, like, see people without having to deal with the social anxiety. It's kind of like people on demand, and I don't have to socialize, and I don't know, like, it's just hard, because, like, then like I question, do I really care about these people that, you know, I can't stop thinking about, or am I just trying to fill a hole? And I kind of go back and forth with that, and I kind of just over intellectualize how I feel, and through meditation, I'm able to let thoughts happen and be choiceless awareness, but at the same time, because of like going through living with a rigid family on my dad's side where they didn't show much emotion, it's kind of hard to open the heart, because I just kind of feel like there's a rock in there, or a rock in a hard place. And I notice when I smoke cannabis, like even though I get really paranoid and anxious and kind of go into a drug-induced psychosis, like everything feels more fluid and everything feels more real, and I feel more in touch with my humanity and my archaic side. And when I come back down, everything feels more like stimulated and more artificial. And I don't know, like, I don't really look into simulation theory, but sometimes I wonder if reality is a simulation, because not because of anybody I listen to or, you know, listening to other people, but in my own direct experience. That's another thing too with determinism, is I just don't want to be on like the Sam Harris, Robert Sapolsky side of things. It's like, it's not because I believe them, it's because it's in my own direct experience, and it's, I don't know, like when I surrender to that, even though part of it's terrifying, part of it's freeing. But yeah, just the wanting to be seen, and, you know, almost doing that interview, but then realizing that my intuition told me that it's not a good idea right now because of the state of the Soft White Underbelly YouTube channel right now. I thought, no, not right now, but I've been doing the work through therapy and like journaling and the dream work, and that's what helps me with depersonalization, is like my dreams, because you know I can't control my dreams, and I can't control, you know, what it wants to show me, and my unconscious is wide open. And if I could find more ways to just be with my unconscious in a sober way, I wish I could, but it gets hard because it's just like, you know what they say, mindfulness instead of mindfulness, where like my mind is full, and it doesn't know like how to like just empty itself out, because it doesn't know where it begins and where it ends. That's another thing too, is like it's like, I don't know, where, because of the CP, and I've said this multiple times, like it forces me to see the interconnected nature of all things, and a lot of the time when I'm talking to a person, like I don't know where I begin and they end, and so it's like, I don't know, I just feel like tied to everything and everyone, and I feel like I am everyone, and I kind of feel like I'm like universal consciousness stuck in a cage, in a sense, and that can be very frustrating. But I know my goal here is to be an open space for love and non-judgment, and just be a mirror for people to be themselves, and I know that's my purpose here, and that's the reason why I'm here, because if I wasn't disabled, I'd be living in illusions that other people live in, and I wouldn't be able to see a lot of and learn a lot of what I've learned. But anyway, that's it for today's video. Just decided to come on and just kind of talk about what's been going on recently. I appreciate all the comments, and like I said in the last video, if you guys have any comments or questions, leave them in the comments, and I'll maybe do a Q&A sometime. I think that'd be fun. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Have a good rest of your day.